I forgot I'm not hitting that stuff. They tripping about my they try to do something for the copyright for that little thing, so I got to change that. Anyway, welcome back to Community Reviews, talking about Love of Marriage Detroit. You got a recap, Mama? You want to jump in? What you want to do?
Oh, okay. So the recap for today. Anthony invites Christina out for, I guess, dinner or whatever, so they can have a little powwow, chit chat, whatnot. Cool. They talk about, and kudos to Anthony, because I feel like he's the president of the Sassy Boys Committee, and he did his big one on this one. We're inviting her out, get a little bit more information, give his point of view or whatever. Where Christina was just like, you might still be on some fuck shit. I'm not too sure yet. Anyways, so they do that. Latoya is getting ready to come out with a champagne line into in addition to what she got going on with opulence. Um what's the girl's name?
Kim.
Kim, we dive in this episode a little bit more what she does. She's hosting a toy drive event, so that can tell y'all when this was actually filmed, because they gathering up. They're
Girl.
doing a fundraising for Toys for Tots and things like that. So that can tell y'all when this was filmed. Okay,
Exactly.
um, what's his name? Mr. 6 months. Um,
I
the
want a
one
boy
that's
so
married to
bad.
Christina, Brandon.
Oh, Brandon.
Brandon, Brandon and Russell comes over and wants to sit outside. I'm assuming that it has everything to do with the thing that happened with last season when Christina told Kobe told
It's
her,
just an old school thing. People do that.
yeah, yeah, call my husband. Da, 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 da. Okay, cool. I understand that. That was great. Um, he said he's not a counselor, so he ain't a counselor. So they do a little session or whatever, and Brandon says that he looks up to Russell, and he's a very straightforward man, on point, whatever the case is. Cool. He tells him what he needs to do to go back home so that he can work on whatever it is that he needs to do to get back home. Christina has you know a conversation with Brandon's mom, and how he left, and how she left, and X, Y, and Z. That's great. And Kim invites everybody to the little studio for the little Toys for Tots. They get into it, very ghetto. And that's the end of the episode.
Okay, I want to kind of start with that was a good recap, by the way. I want to start with Anthony and Christina. First, I want to say this. Cool that Anthony is trying to mend fences, but we are going to call BS where there is BS. And I'm so sorry. I'm going to do that. Period. You're going to
Oh,
sit here and promote your podcast, sir. Not a podcast, not a blogger, but because you started doing some videos with a couple of people, now you have a podcast, and you want to make sure you promote that on Carlos King's live for everybody to see. Sorry, went too fast. Still don't know the name. I'm just saying, was this whole entire thing was about empowerment and doing the right thing? And was it about? I want to shout out my podcast so I can get the YouTube views up. Period. Sorry, had to do it. Um, but yeah, it was very nice what you said. You sure you wanted to get them together and have a conversation. But the one thing I know about Anthony is that he'll talk to Christina in her face. Hey, I wasn't cool what my wife did. Da da da. Wasn't a fan. But yeah, when you're with your wife, oh man, it ain't all about you,
oh,
Christina. We don't
shit.
know
I,
Christina.
for,
What you talking about, Christina?
I
Come on,
forgot
come on,
about the
come on,
date
come on.
night. I forgot about the date night. Forgot
Mhm.
about the date night. Shit.
So So, but we're gonna get into that too. But and the shade and all the ops situations that is going on with I hate Christina.com. Okay, so Christina and his mom, Brandon's mom's talk. I didn't really understand. Okay, let me see. I can say this. I kind of understand why she would go to his mom. Maybe she felt she didn't want us to go. Like, I don't know, do your son. I don't know. But to me, it's like, what is she going to say? Because that is her kid. At the end of the day, whether she agrees
Absolutely.
with his actions or not, that is still her son. So she's going to be kind of like, for my son, he's staying with me. What am I going to say? Besides the fact that she feel like the mom obviously does not like. that Brandon is talking about their family life, and she said he's doing a lot. He's doing a lot with that. He could be. I don't know, but to me, Brandon is doing the same pattern as his dad. So I would feel like it is relevant to talk about his childhood because he's doing the same thing. Okay, what are your thoughts?
I definitely agree. And I agree because, he's only doing what he's seen.
Right.
And he's seen his daddy, not really do too much around the house except for mow the lawn. And
Or she
his
killed me
mom
with that.
and his mom did everything else very ghetto, very not
Mm-hmm.
mindful, very not demure.
Mm-hmm.
But you should be at the point of time to be willing to undo generational curses,
Right.
because what and one thing that my daddy, and everybody know that I'm very much so a daddy's girl, is don't
Mm-hmm.
marry a man like me. So you have a daughter. So do you want a daughter? Do you want your daughter to marry a man like you?
Mm-hmm. Wait a minute.
I,
Erica is saying something about connect your mic and cam before I can add you.
so you know, my dad says don't marry a man like me. Marry a man that's better than me. So do
First of
you?
all, Champagne Lee got almost her name. Because I'm gonna need her to start this discussion about the champagne in a minute. But
I
I
am.
love that. I love that. I love that you said that you brought your own personal situation. That I really do love that because I was also a daddy's girl. I mean, my sister both. And so when you say that, I'll get a good feeling inside because I know how that feels to be a daddy's, girl or whatever. And I get that. So I love that you said that. Um,
Yeah,
uh,
that's what my dad said. He always, despite him and my mom not
mhm,
making it or whatever the case
mhm,
is,
mhm,
he has always very much so been around in my life, and that is the one thing that he married somebody, better than me. So
mhm.
you understand that your dad, he was around, but he wasn't around. I don't know if he was in sports when he was in school. When was the last time that your dad was at a basketball game or a football game or you in the band or something? When did you? But you seen your mom there. So
Hmm.
do you want your daughter to marry somebody with a active, inactive father because he's there physically, but he ain't there when it means the most?
Right,
I
right,
need my dad to be here for this.
exactly. There's too much to put in the chat. Except for Russell and Brandon's mom, they are also inauthentic. It seems like Carlos King needs to pick a better members. Love and Married
Mm.
Detroit and Love and Married DC are snooze fest. Oh damn! I didn't read the last
Well,
part. Oh shit!
baby, love and marriage, DC. Get your snooze button because it's gonna be it. No, let me be quiet. People
Well, I know
watch.
they. I think they're trying to compete with the other one. But I told remember me. You said this last season. Y'all have to understand when me and Lee say stuff, it actually means something that actually transpired. Me and Lee said at the last Love and Marriage DC finale, reunion, whatever we were covering, we both literally said they're trying to compete with the other season. When I posted that clip, when Jamie and Raina was like, "Look, y'all better get ready. Y'all think the Love and Marriage Huntsville for to be something." I knew when I heard that, I was like, "Okay, it's going to be some."
So that's crazy that you mentioned that because Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know that what they doing some kind of promo or whatever in Huntsville, or whatever. But Jamie had commented under the little post or whatever saying that they need to book the Tylers and bring all of Huntsville out as if a lot of people in Huntsville watch Love and Marriage DC. I understand that the DC area, the DMV area, yeah, we'll watch Love and Marriage DC because it's our
Right,
area. And
right,
I personally watch it because yeah, I know several people that's on the show, but I also watch it to see where they at. Because if I'd be like, oh, I know where they at. They at so and so. They at Kitchen Cocktails. They at this place. They at that place. So I watch it because I do be outside. But other
right.
people watch it
Then
because
did you see?
they're just watching it.
Right.
So you bringing out another couple from another season that their audience may not watch is kind of irrelevant, but that's neither here
Mm.
nor there. That was just something that I was lurking on Instagram, and I was be
No, it's a good
lurking.
point. We'll get into that. We'll talk about that at the end because I got something to say about that. That's actually a really good point. I want at the very end we talk about bullshit. I want to talk about that again. Make sure you remind me of that.
I
Okay,
will.
so Kristina said she felt lonely in
Oh,
her marriage. Huh?
let me hold on because because the messages that well, the comments that you had sent me, it was at dark 30, and I did wake up in the middle of the night to read them. So let me address a couple of things.
Okay,
So
okay. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Go ahead.
this message is for Christina. Christina, I didn't say that you
Huh?
married your husband because of X, Y, and Z. I said your husband said on national television that he married you because he wanted to smash. That's what I said. You could have married him out of love, and that is perfectly fine. And people fall in love in the strangest in mysterious ways. But what I said was that your husband married you because he wanted to smash. He specifically said you not smashing until you get married, and he said let's speed this process up. Therefore, he asked to marry you.
Okay, here go Erica. Okay, so what's happening right now is Lee is addressing. Now I'm not for sure who she was talking to because I mentioned it as well as why did she marry him, but not in a bad way, just more or less why because we talked about him. Hey Erica, give her just 2 seconds, Mama, and I want you to jump in on this. So the comments, well, I'm addressing the comments that were saying, "Oh, they're not married," or "Why are they talking about this?" Well, first of all, I was married for over 20 some years, so to the comment, and who is it now blocked, by the way, go see her and say to my, well, they not married, da da da. You don't even know our background. Well,
And I'm very much so in a relationship.
so with that being said, you don't have to be married, but still can give opinion about marriage and relationships because everybody has had all type of experiences where it could tie in to some of these things we talk about in our commentary on TV. Let's be clear, okay?
Very much so.
So with the other thing with the comments about, we were just doing commentary. Me myself, I didn't know who said what. I will admit, I even said it then that I thought that what I say. I didn't think Christina was the one who said it. I didn't think Christina was the one who teased whatever. And all this stuff is like what we get on the internet. So we're just speaking about that. So that's all I want to say about that.
So, and
Go ahead, Lee.
that's the last thing that I'm going to address because in that table scene, well, in the comments, she said that she didn't know about it. She found out about it a month later. But in the scene, Kim said that Christina said, and I said this last week. Christina said, "Well, you and I feel so bad that I can't remember her husband's name, but
Who?
Kim's husband said,
Oh,
uh,
Martell, I think. Martrail
there
or
it is,
something. Mhm.
yes, are made for each other because they like they like basic things or whatever, something along with basically having an android means that you basic. So if somebody in that listen, my mama always say there's three sides of the story. There's yours and the truth, and it's up to the people to figure out what their truth is.
Mhm.
So if Kim says that you were there and you heard the conversation, and then you say that I didn't figure it out until it was from a third party a month later. However, Kim also said, you said that her and her husband are made for each other because they both like basic things or are basically considering an android being basic. So, how were you able to say that comment if you heard it a month later from a third party? That is where that's that. And you weren't a good friend to Kim, and that's it. And I'm gonna stand on what the fuck I said. You weren't a good friend to Kim because you should have, even if it was a month later, you still should have checked that friend about saying that.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say this about that because I never heard her if she checked her or not, so I can't speak on that or not. I'm not gonna see her say that. And Erica, I do want you to give your commentary about this part, please. And welcome, Erica. Welcome. For me, with the whole thing with Kim, I don't agree with that, Mom, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because I still don't know everything. I really can't wait to hear every bit piece about this whole story. But the bit that I got is because Kim was agreeing with her, which is why I can say this part that she did get confirmation. She did apologize. She did check, said friend or whatever went on, and Kim was satisfied with everything after that. Now, her finding out about it a month later to me is trash. Why didn't Kim go to her herself? If you're such a friend, you were so bothered by it. Why didn't you come to me as your friend? Birthday or no birthday, right? You wait till a month later and really and truly, it wasn't even you, it was somebody else who told me. That's trash. It made me think to me, well, ain't that important to you? So I'm not going to address it. I am not going to make a big deal about it. It was my birthday party. You ain't tripping about it because I got to hear about it from Larry, Cameron, Mo, girl, I don't want to hear nothing about it 20 years later, 5 years later, 7 years later. I don't want to hear about no Android phone when everything was popping. You had nothing to say. Keep that same energy you had 7 years ago when you talked your shit to everybody else named mama but me. Period. I'm sorry.
Okay. All right.
Erica, what's your thoughts about this? Because I do get what Leah's saying, but I want to hear what Leah's saying as far as Kim not feeling like she was a friend to her. Because I do feel like Kim probably feel like that she was not a friend to her. But I just feel like it was handled badly on so many levels. Go ahead, Erica.
Okay, I'm trying to remember this, but
Okay.
first I want to say that I'm logging in on an Android, so I feel like I'm partial. Um,
Oh, well, you know what? And that's probably why you sound discombobulated. I got it.
I can't.
um, but yeah, like it was kind of crazy that this does come down to an Android iPhone debate.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there has to be more behind it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have friends who have iPhones who say crazy stuff, and then like, I don't know, we're still friends. So, um,
She said the same thing.
Well, as a
yeah,
proud iPhone, well, as a proud iPhone user, they have definitely upgraded for the Android status. Like right, no, I can't tell you everything that I know. Anyways, if you have an iPhone, please update to iOS 18. Thank you. Have a great day.
Go
yeah.
ahead. Go ahead, Erica. Good to see you.
So yeah, so that debate continue. You know what I mean? Like, I, I have issues with Apple as a company, but anyway, I
Lord
think that
Jesus.
it's the kind of thing where you want your friends to stand up for you. Sometimes they don't, but it's no ill intent or
Okay.
whatever. And I guess I don't understand. I don't know if it's production or to be on the show. Like, I don't know. It
Well,
just
okay,
seems like it
so
could be
Erica,
fun.
she came into the comments of the last video we did, and she
Uh,
adjusted a few things, right? And so for me, she was like saying like it's a month later, so she didn't even hear about it from Kim directly. She heard about it a month after her birthday party through a third party. That's where I'm coming from with that. It
oh,
wasn't
okay. Got
like it wasn't like so to me. It's like this: if Kim came to her the same day, next day, I always said the next day after the party would be more appropriate anyway. But if she came to her, whether it be however she processed it, that's Kim's business. You know what I'm saying? So let's say
right.
she waited a month later, but it still came from Kim. You're saying it came from a third party a month later, but then 7 years later, you're so distraught and upset, saying I'm not a good friend. I don't understand that. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
gonna break the
Yeah.
whole thing down. You know me,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to
No, I
understand
got you. I
both
got you.
sides.
Okay.
I'm trying to understand both sides. Because like I told Lee last time, if Kim is feeling away because or feeling like your friends are trying to make me feel less than, I said this to Lee. I would 100% understand why Kim be mad to this day. That would still piss me off. But I said there's stuff missing from the store, like when she came into my comments and saying, okay, well, I didn't hear about it from her anyway. I heard about it through someone else. It was a month later. So why is there so upset 7 years later about something that you couldn't even care about at the time when it was happening? Do you see what I'm saying?
Right. And I still think that there's more than just this little incident. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to already feel like, that has to kind of be the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, I can't believe it would all come down to you defending me about my phone. Like, that doesn't.
No, I can see. You know what? I'm gonna tell you why. Okay, so I can see this part. If because I could be in my feelings if I'm with Lee and she has a lot of friends, right? And we're
Right.
in DC and we're hanging out, and it may be small. They might say something about my shoe. I don't know. And they
Right.
tease me. Lee is not involved with this, right? Not
Right.
sanctioning or anything. But if her friends doing it, now mind you know I'm gonna go the fuck off anyway. Excuse my language. It doesn't matter. She knows about me anyway. But respectfully, if I'm in somebody else's environment, I'm gonna move differently. Like I'm in Lee's world. I'm not gonna just do like I do if I'm at home because this is still her world and I respect what she got going on. And she has to live here. I don't. So I may not necessarily go off per se. So you do look at your friend and say, okay, what is your friend gonna do? Because you don't want to do anything crazy because you're also her friend. So you're in this position like, okay, what's my friend gonna do? What's she gonna check her friend? And if your friend doesn't do anything, you're going to feel like your friend didn't have your back. I don't care if it's small or big. So go ahead.
Right. I'm not saying, okay, so I guess the part where I'm coming from is, okay, yeah, like let's say someone is like, ooh, them leopard prints is outdated and old, or like people say little stuff all the time, and it's like, yeah, it's messed up if your friend doesn't defend you, right? But does that equate to a bad friend? Like that one thing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like to me, yeah, I would be mad, but am I not gonna mess with Lee because she's let someone say something about my shoes?
100%. Let's break it down to the defend part. I would not want Lee to be like, bitch, that's my auntie. That you know what I'm saying? I would not want her to do that to mess up anything for her or anything. I'm not, because to me, people take defending your friend, they want you to do a whole lot, punch somebody in the eye, you know what I'm saying, do something crazy. And to me, it's like a little small text message like, girl, no. That's my auntie.
Right,
Leave
but
alone.
what I'm
You know what I'm saying? Like a gentle nudge.
You might feel a way, but are you gonna end the friendship? Are you gonna say she ain't a good friend
No,
because
I'm
she
gonna
made
tell
that
her
one
the next
mistake?
day. No. I would not. I would tell her the next day. The bad thing about stuff like that is that you could tell your friend something, and your friendship might be awkward or weird after that. So some people don't want to say anything because it does change the dynamic. I'm saying for personal experience, I told somebody something, and our friendship is not the same. So it does. It's so many ways that can turn. So some people might say, I'm not going to say anything at all. So go ahead.
Right, but the thing is, if you don't say anything, but then you still go back and are like, this person is a good friend, then it's changed anyway. Because to me, it's like either you say something and it's not a big deal. And to me, it's like, it's different if somebody was like, oh, you a hoe, you a man stealer, you sleep with married men. There's so many things people can say that I would be like, okay, I expect someone to stand up for my character. But really, if someone says something about my phone or my shoes and my bestie doesn't go fight for me, I might feel a ways, yes. That's not gonna make or break a friendship if it's really a friendship. Not this one thing. And so that's why I'm saying, like, to me, if she was this mad about a phone, she must have already felt like Kristina was putting her down. She must have already had some feelings anyway that she ain't never said to Kristina. Because I've definitely had friends where, like, you get into it and then they start telling you something you did 10 years ago.
Come on now.
Wait, you've been staying with me for 10 years?
That's what I'm
You've been staying this whole time? So I don't think it's about a phone. Like, that's all I'm saying.
I know, I agree. I love that. I agree. I think there's more to that. So, Lee, I want you to jump in because we've been saying your name the whole time anyway. But so, Lee, if you were in Kristina's position and you see, like I told you, I'm hanging out with you in DC and your friends are trying to be funny or whatever, how would you handle that? And this is not a judgment thing. I'm just really curious because to me, that's a hard position to be in. That's your friend and somebody's visiting. They don't know that person. They don't know that's hard. I don't know.
So I'm gonna give it to, well, first of all, my friends already know, try somebody else, try Jesus, not me. But I'm gonna give them the same, listen, y'all treat me with respect, so y'all gonna treat my guests with respect. And if you didn't set that momentum at the beginning, they gonna listen, you give somebody an inch, they gonna take a mile. So you gonna respect this person as you respect me. We're gonna give her a great time in this area, and we're gonna send her back to Dallas. Hold on, y'all.
So so while she's getting that together, Erica, I love that you brought this kind of, you all do this really good, this point, because the defending part for me is how much defending can a friend do to make that friend feel comfortable? As far as him.
And I agree with you on that, but then I'm still like, because not everything is going to be perfect. People make mistakes, people, whatever. And if it's a real friendship, you show the person grace, right?
Right.
So to me, and especially, like, it's one thing if somebody is like, your parents were never married. Like, it's stuff people can say where it's like, it's crazy. But to me, when it comes down to being basic, when it comes down to like phone or how you dressed or how you wear your wigs or whatever, it's like, I'm not going to end a friendship with nobody that I'm really friends with over that. I'll feel a ways or whatever. Maybe I say something, maybe I
Right.
don't, but it's
Right.
not gonna be like, ooh, she ain't never been a good friend to me
Period.
over this phone
Hmm.
thing. So to me, I've had friends who little stuff comes up and it turns into a big blowout, and then it ends up they've already had something in them that they never spoke on, that they've been
Right.
holding in or whatever.
Right.
And this just happens to be this thing now. But it's not really, yeah, it's not really about that. And so, which I still feel like always has me looking at that person funny, because it's like, okay, so this whole time, were you ever really my friend?
Right.
Because if you really mad about something I did, you know, coming out of college and I don't remember it,
Period. I
then
agree.
how long, what is this
I
friendship
agree with
based
that.
on? So,
No, I
that's,
super agree. I
yeah,
super agree because this is the thing about it is I love how you said that too because in my opinion it's like girl, are you real? Are you being like for real? Because it's like we are gonna not be friends anymore because someone talks about your phone. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about it is what we don't know is, and I'm telling you, I believe this that she probably checked somebody behind the scenes. Like, girl, I got a whole beef with this because y'all was talking crap. Can you imagine those conversations? We weren't privy to it, and neither was Kim. To me, Kim
right,
is joining up forces. I'm sorry. It is, and I apologize for anybody who's offended because I can no longer tag her. By the way, Kim, that doesn't move me. That does not bother me. I come on this platform and talk about Cash because I am a blogger. I'm a podcaster. That is my job, and I'm supposed to say things you're not going to like. Because the fact I can't tag you does not move me, man. But you are now part of the plus one club. I don't care if you are. I can't remember now, but you are acting as if you are a plus one. Trying to do a lot to make sure that your scenes are popping, to make sure you're coming in hot so that you can take the spotlight. That's what it gives to me. Okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Erica. What do you think about
no,
Miss Kim?
I mean, that to me, and the only thing I will show her grace is, girl, I don't know if it's you or it's production, but somebody came up with this. And all I'm going to say as a fan of the show, do better. Like,
Mm,
who cares? I'm not trying to argue about, I got an Android and I'm still like, who cares? So,
exactly.
if you want to be on the show, be on the show and let us know what really, like, let us know, did you feel a way because you were raised a certain way and she was raised different? Like, why do you feel, like
Right.
it's probably based on something more than just this phone stuff. Maybe she made other comments that you took some kind of way, or maybe, and I have friends like this too, where they take a lot of things as an insult because of their own insecurities, because
Mm,
they feel like they're less than. And it's like, well, that person, maybe they just don't like Samsung. Like, it probably ain't got nothing to do with you.
Nope.
So, so to me, that would be real. You know what I'm saying? Like, be like, okay, well, and you've seen this on some other shows where people, maybe they grew up a certain way and now they've, every comments can hit them differently. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what you all, that would be interesting to show and to see, as opposed to, we 7 years talking about Android and iPhone. Like, that
girl.
doesn't really seem logical,
It
honestly.
doesn't.
So,
I love that. I love that. So first of all, I do want to say this that I agree with Erica 100%. Like to me, this is crazy that we still talking about this after 7 years, and you trying to tell me that this is not a plot to make your scene better. This is not a plot to be relevant in this season. This is not a plot to take over. Not only that, you want Kristina's motion. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep it real. You are also hanging out with the other two ladies who literally dragged her for most of the season this season, who is sitting back sipping tea with a piggy figure up and smiling in the corner of their mouth because somebody else is coming at her. I am going to tell you what it is and not coddle anybody. That is what it looks to me. That is what it gives. You can say, Anthony and Latoya, that she's not that girl, Kristina, and who knows her. Okay, cool. If that's the case, why is that the one person that you bring in the group is somebody she has a beef with? Come on. I call Cap. Erica, thoughts, please. I call cap. I do. I'm sorry. The fuck?
Okay.
Hold on. Let me get a disclaimer real fast. Hang on. The views and opinions expressed on this panel are those of this panel and are for entertainment purposes only. Do not, and I repeat, do not try this at home. And don't whine in the comments when you don't like it. We don't care. Go ahead, Erica. Let's go.
Okay. First of all, I'm confused by the many faces and the many personalities of Anthony.
Oh, Lord.
Because one minute he's talking to Kristina about getting their, trying to help her and Brandon get back together.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next minute he's like, but she ain't nobody. Like, wait, did you just come
on? I just said that. I just said that. Keep that same smoke, man. Keep that same energy.
I'm like, what? Wait, what? I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, how many personalities do you have, bro? So he's just coming off like, I don't know, way more than two faces right now. I just don't even know what to say on him. Yeah, like it just seems like the little side shenanigans. I don't know, is this just a distraction from us asking again who's paying the bills in the household or no? Because I'm like, Anthony and Latoya, why don't y'all talk about yourselves, your lives?
Look, and if Latoya with her, I don't like Kristina, ain't even trying to hide it, looking ass every scene. I don't care. Why are we talking about this?
Well, it's so funny because I think you make a valid point, Kamisha, in that they're like, they ain't nobody, don't nobody who they are, don't nobody know them, all this other stuff.
Come on.
And then you absolutely right. Well, then you need to find somebody in Detroit who don't know them. You could ask them. Why,
Let's go. Oh my God.
So you are right on that, Kamisha. It does kind of go against what they're saying.
You know me, I'm gonna break it down. I'm that blogger where if you go say something on TV and record it, when it comes out of the airs, I will break down everything that you said, period. And don't care if I'm blocked, don't care if I can't tag you. You're too scared to interview with me because you know I'm gonna ask those questions. I am never a fan club. I'm going to be real, period. Okay, wrong one. Period. There you go. 100%. Okay. So to me, it's a trip to me that I feel like that Anthony does this thing where he's like with his wife, oh, I can't believe she said that, da-da-da. And then when he's with Kristina, I don't agree with what my wife did.
Peter,
I do not. What are you doing? Going back and forth, sir? You just said you was cool with your wife, but when you with Kristina, come on, Erica.
I'm gonna say this, Lee. I don't even be wanting to stand up for Peter, but you can't be dogging Peter like this because I ain't seen nobody ask this trifling. Okay, Peter stay in female business, but I've never seen anybody say one thing to one person, another thing to the next person. He all in Brandon's face, then he talking about them the next day. Like, wait, what? I thought you were trying to bring everybody together.
Peter,
now you're talking not like. I was just like, okay.
And I said this earlier, Erica. As much as I love you, you were late again. So, I
made it before 12:30. I will say, but go ahead.
I said sassy boys up 1,000. I thought that Mr. Anthony turned a new leaf, but I said it earlier. He didn't know which way he wanted to go or do or whatever the case is. So I agree with you on this.
Yeah. He's too much in people's business, at first I was like, okay, if you're going to be genuine, then it's not a thing. But if you are going to. And then especially I'm so confused because I want to be like, you all do know you're being filmed, right? So
come on, Erica. Say it again.
You know what I'm saying? Like this is for the camera. It's one thing to say you do something on camera, right? You do something different on Instagram or something, but it's like the cameras are there the whole time. So is this a bad script writing? Like I'm so confused right now.
I don't script writing. I can't.
I'm like, who told you this was a good idea? Because at first when he was talking to Kristina, I was like, oh, okay. And then when he started making the little snarky remarks, I was like, well, then why did you even go to dinner with her? Like, what was the purpose? She was right.
It is, because the thing about it is, to me, it's like Carlos King has this show, right? And the premise of the show is I hate Kristina. Who are the stars of the show? That would be Latoya. Okay. What's the mama name that's pregnant? Kobe, and then Anthony. Those are the three that do not like Kristina. Okay, and damn near
Right.
Brandon. So I'm just I'm just saying, to me, it's like everybody, it should be everybody. I swear to God. Because I feel like this is the plot, and it was starting to get that way last season, but
Not
now it's
everybody hates
going to this,
Chris.
and now it's going to this season where I feel like they just don't like her. And I want to get into Erica and Lee when all the girls got together. First of all, you have I did like the part where she was showing her how to do different squats. I've had 3 kids. It's very painful. So when she tried to help Kobe and talking about the whole thing, having your spirit, your mind right, because you were upset you don't have the boy. I did like that scene, I will admit. Okay. I'm not sure if you want to add anything to it, Erica, or anything like that, but I do want to get into the fact of the messiness when they start dragging Kristina and then Kim joins in. Uh, Excuse me. Go ahead, Erica. What you gotta say, Mama?
I agree. I thought that part about, because like I don't have kids or whatever, but it does seem sort of a bit disturbing to see someone, that down about it, and then to know maybe someday their child would see this, so I'm glad she kind of gave her things to think about and sort of pray on to get in a good space.
Well, no,
So
not
I'm
just not necessarily. I'm sorry, maybe not necessarily see it, but feel it. Because when you're pregnant, everything you feel,
right,
everything you
right. No, I
do
agree.
goes
I
to the
agree with the
baby.
feel part
You know,
too, but it's like
right?
at the end of the day, they probably will also see it. And and it's still like that's just a lot, and that could, like she said, that could affect the child's personality and stuff. And I actually have heard that as well, so I really liked the idea of giving her something to sort of think about. So I like that part.
It's a known fact that there's been mothers who had kids. Maybe they had a child, the last child, they didn't want to have that child, whatever. But as the child got older, they came out a certain way and wondered why. And it's like you were feeling that way throughout the whole pregnancy, and that baby felt that because it connected
Right,
to you, literally. And people don't understand that's a whole being connected to your blood, feelings, all kind of stuff. So if you didn't want that baby probably came out feeling some type of way off the rip and grew up that way. So it's all, So anyway, I want to get into the things of the messiness that it is. So they're having a conversation about pregnancy being positive. Then of course they jump into the Christina situation and the Kim situation. You know, Kobe didn't say too much, but Latoya had a lot of shaking of the head situation, and I don't care, I don't get it. So Erica and Lee, I want to hear both of y'all's opinion on that about this whole situation. Go ahead, Erica. I don't care who start, but Erica, because you late, as Lee pointed out. Why don't you go ahead and
um
start?
the one the one thing I did like was Kim, when she was like, my issues with Christina are different than yours, because they were talking about I think inviting her to whatever.
Mhm.
And that's the thing, because it's like, yeah, like I'm not her friend because of the phone or whatever.
Right.
And so that shouldn't have anything to do with why you're not friends with her, which I think is very valid. And especially
It
if
is. Mhm.
especially if we're all gonna, be filming on this show. So I do like that part. Um, you know, yeah, like I don't know, because to me it's like, if you're not gonna bring it to her, I don't know, how many times are we gonna rehash this? I think we need to uh I think there needs to be like a real sit down, and just because I think it has to be more than just this, right? So I think
To
we
me,
need to.
why is it you being so deep and everything else and talking about it and breaking it down with these two ladies who weren't involved? But when y'all sitting at the table and Christina was being calm and wanted to talk about it, you was not letting her talk or anything. It's just a lot of confusion for me. Lee, Champagne Lee. Her name was so cute.
I
I
know.
agree. Oh, thank you. You know what? I can't even take credit for this name. I have to shout out my best friend Relly for this exact reason, because he always calls me Champagne Mommy, but I couldn't take that because that's Drake's name, and I ain't really fucking with Drake right now. But
Mm,
I had Champagne Lee because, Lee is what people call me and I love champagne. But I'm waiting on us to get to the champagne part.
Okay. Okay. So anyway, so you don't have you say you agree. Cool.
Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
hmm. So let's go ahead. Kim is going to do well no. Well one thing Kim's gonna do a blind taste for you. Um go ahead, Champagne Lee. Just jump.
Mm.
You got it.
So one thing that I do like about Dr. Latoya, next to champagne, y'all know I love the wine. So um for her to have her black owned wine business and getting ready to um add champagne to it. Champagne is a very hard taste to acquire, first and foremost. And not only that, it's very hard to get champagne because champagne only comes from one part of the world. Well, two
Hmm.
parts of the world, actually. But and then it's across the Pacific, well, Atlantic Ocean, because we're going on the other side. So,
Erica, at your channel, please. Go ahead, mama.
um, I understand the road barriers and things those things where she's crossing right now because of how hard it is to get champagne or the grapes for champagne even to get this going. I understand it. Um, that's why there's more wine than champagne. That's just a fun fact. But anyways, I hope that her champagne, I'll buy a bottle or two if they sell it out here in Virginia. But dang, what
But
was the
what? But
question?
why did you tell me something? Because I love this knowledge when you have. Why do you say it's harder? You said for her. Give me the breakdown on that. You said it was harder or something. What do you mean by that? Like, what's the
So
take?
because all right, so France is where 85% of the champagne comes from. Like champagne, you have to the grapes. It has to be what's the word? Is it fermented out? Champagne comes from France. That's it. There's no US based champagne. So that's why when somebody says, oh, we have sparkling wine,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably
Mm.
made in the US. We have Prosecco. That's technically not champagne, that's sparkling wine with a French name to it. Um, Champagne, it comes out of France. That is that's it. That I have nothing else. There's some champagnes that come out of South Africa. It's a little bit. It is way much more drier. But majority of the champagne that we drink, Ace, Dom, um, Wycliffe, Moet, those come out of France.
Wow. Mm. I will admit that her as a black woman doing her thing with this her own business. I do like this part of the show, even though I understand, like Erica say, we don't really know what Anthony does to this day. It's like Tommy, you ain't got no job, man. We just see you at a building, you just outside. Anyway, um,
I mean,
Erica,
maybe that whole Atlanta trip that he was on. I don't know. I don't know if he was like from what I gathered, an executive producer from last season. I'm not too sure. But I do know that whatever it was that he was doing, it was taking up his time because he's no longer the director of operations for Opulence.
look, hold up, wait. Let's stay right here, real quick. Let's stay right here. So the fact that they mentioned that you already know. And see, Detective Junior over here, and you know who the mama is. You already know that these brain cells are super big. Okay, so so it's so funny she pointed that out because I felt like there's something there. Why would you say it out loud? You said it out loud before a blogger gets a hold of it and breaks the story, but you put a nice narrative on it and just say, I stepped aside. But you actually never gave a reason. You just said, he stepped aside. It's a lot for me. Da 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 da. But
He no he ain't no
there was
different from
never a
Kevin
reason
Lyle stepping
given.
down.
There was never a reason given. I'm just saying. But
Once again, like I know the reason why all these CEOs are stepping down, but it's just like all these CEOs stepping down with no reason. They ain't say, hey, my wife is on her deathbed. My
oh
kid is.
my.
I'm getting ready to. I want to be a grandpa. No, they ain't saying that. They just automatic. They started stepping down,
Mhm.
following somebody's charges. But that's neither
Mm,
here nor there. Um,
Jesus.
what is the reason? What is, in my Cardi B voice, what is the reason of you no longer being the director of operations? Because what you say, I'm a multi-millionaire. That's what you said at that dinner last season. But where's the multi-millionaires, the dollar bills? Because if you're a multi-millionaire, why are you the director of operations for your wife's wine company?
Erica, just puts me right here
Yeah,
in the
no,
pennies.
I thought that part. Well, a couple of things. So to
Hmm.
piggyback on what Lee was saying about the champagne thing, is that to my understanding, not only is it from like a certain region in France, it has to be from that region in order to call it champagne. So
There's
that's why it makes it so competitive, because it's a limited space, right? So
and
there's only, these people have been in business hundreds of, maybe not hundreds, but many, many, many years.
Mm.
And so it's like, okay, it's like the who's who. So it's not that easy to get into. So that's why it's a thing.
also, in addition to that, grapes only grow a certain part of a certain time throughout the year. So there's that. So now we have Vouv, Moet and Chandon. Well, it's actually Hennessy Moet and Chandon. That's the name of the company itself. But Moet, Vouv, all of these major companies where they dish their distribution in also they're in clubs where they're upcharging 25 to 35% upcharge on what
Hmm.
it's being sold in the stores. And now
Yeah.
you have a black owned company trying to come in and okay, so yes, I can understand the hardship, but grapes only grow a certain time throughout the year. It's not like California grapes where it's basically year round because California has great weather.
So, okay, well, I got because I have like zero knowledge when it comes to this. If it ain't the BUD, I can't even mess with it. So,
Or Jack Daniels.
uh, exactly. Oh, she know me too well.
Now,
Erica,
in terms
Erica,
of
go ahead.
Anthony,
Can't
okay,
stand.
so yeah, so that's the thing. So
Love her.
that's why it's like we are impressed
Ain't
by
like.
that. But in terms of Anthony, though,
Mm.
I did find that scene a little bit odd, about him stepping down, because I'm like, to do what? You know what I'm saying? And then like when she's like, "Well, you didn't fix the dinner," and he ordered it, what was you doing? Like, do you work? Where are you working? Like, can we have some more information? And
Come on, Mr. Mom.
it's like, yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, you're
Ain't
no
nothing wrong
longer in
with it.
this position, and so I just am like, we had that man march of 10 people last year. Like, what is
I
you
think
busy with?
at least said
Five,
5 people.
five,
Thank
Wait a
you.
minute.
five.
But wait, when you mirror the camera, it can seem like 10. So it's like, okay, now what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is going on with you? So that's the part where I'm like, okay, are you managing people? Did you have an artist that blew up? Like, what?
These people
What?
love to have these little shows where they say, "I have a show, a big show, and nobody's there."
A
I
showcase.
digress.
It's given very much so love and hip hop.
It's giving one man show. She knew who I speaks of. But anyway,
It's
one
giving
more.
very
My
much
bad.
so. I got a showcase coming up. I got a showcase. I got it. It's giving very much so love and hip hop. Because how many people we done seen on Love and Hip Hop
Oh
then
my
got a
god.
showcase coming up and ain't or I'm a producer and we ain't heard not minus Cardi B.
Minus the only
And of
one,
all of
correct.
the out of all of them people that I'm a producer, I got a new artist and we ain't heard a goddamn artist the first on the radio.
Mm-mm.
Not even the radio. Can I
They
be
still
on
on
the show
SoundCloud.
where I'm an artist and
They
you
on
play my
SoundCloud.
music during the show? Why are we playing other rappers in the interim? Why play other people? You can't play me, and I'm
It,
on this show. So
it's
I'm not
giving
sure
very much
what
so SoundCloud.
I'm not sure what Anthony does. I don't know why he was so busy. He had to step down because I don't see where he was doing anything else. But if he would like to
But
enlighten
wait
us,
a
he
minute. Hold
sort
on,
of
hold on,
did
hold on,
this
hold on,
week.
hold on, hold on.
I'm gonna
If my
say again, nothing wrong being Mr. Mom. I'm gonna say it again. Nothing wrong with it.
if I remember correctly, and I'm two things. Nothing's wrong with being Mr. Mom. If y'all haven't seen the Kevin Hart movie Me Time where he was Mr. Mom, okay, kudos to him on that. Secondly, if I reserve if my memory serves me correctly, when we jumped down the rabbit hole from the first season, Anthony, he was a executive producer or he worked with one of the major um record companies in the world. I guess I could say that. However, I
Right,
don't
but I
know.
thought when we researched that he was like a contract. He wasn't unemployed there. I don't think. I thought he was just contracting
Well,
there.
I think we
Either
pulled
way,
up his.
I think he
I
still
think we
doing
pulled up his LinkedIn, and I even went back and checked and see if his LinkedIn has been updated or not. It might have been updated to director of operations for Opulence One. I'm not LLC. I'm not sure, but anyways, he did work, and even if he was a contractor for the that major record company, at the end of the day, you was still an executive producer for a major record company.
Come on, Dana.
What my mommy say?
She
Hey,
say
mama.
Anthony just don't want to work. He wants to soft like I cannot. If y'all don't
Oh,
know what when I say this,
what
when
I
I
keep
say
saying,
Queen,
sassy boys up 2000.
when I say Queen Mama, this is who I'm talking about. My sister, she Queen Dina. This is Lee's mom. That's my girl. Period.
Shout out
I
to my
say
mama for
again,
supporting
and
me.
Mr. Mom is a movie that came out in the 80s, which started this, where he took, but the thing about it is, I forgot his name is Michael Keaton. He took care of house and home, vacuum cleaned the whole thing.
Not
It
Mrs.
wasn't a
Doubtfire.
problem. It wasn't a problem. So I'm trying to say is if you Mr. Mom, no shade, talk your shit, stick your chest out and say it with your chest. No problem. Stop putting these extra I am this, I am that, I run this when you run the washing machine. No shade. Who cares? Just keep it real. That's all I'm saying.
Now he very much so may come from money, so he ain't that's probably where the laziness comes in. Most people that come from money, they're
Now
lazy.
she what came from money. Remember they broke that down. She's the one that came from money, not him.
Oh
Remember he was
shit.
crying in Atlanta, all that mess, all that stuff came out. She the one that came from money, not him.
Well,
So,
the ghetto. Oh, this is ghetto.
mhm. So you
Yeah,
really
this is
struggling. So you came from all that, and so you trying to live up to Daddy Warbeck, all kind of things, and not doing that thing.
not
And
Daddy Warbucks. Not little old Annie. Orphan Annie.
well, we glad I had some Jack too. I ain't gonna front. Oh no, that egg dropped off real quick. Oh, shit.
Not Orphan
Erica, it
Annie.
dropped off probably because your phone. Oh Lord Jesus, has been
Now we
alive.
throwing shade on the Android. I listen. No Android has been
What's
hurt
stomach hurt?
while filming this recording.
Wait a minute.
Nope.
Oh my God.
No Android has been hurt while filming this
Oh
recording. I
Jesus
just want to make
Christ.
sure because people be
Wait a minute. Now Anthony gonna be crying in the car after this live. Your
listen. I
ass.
was trying to advocate for Anthony earlier in the episode, but then he
She
was just
was.
like, I definitely was. But now you back to Sassy Boy 1000.
Oh my God. And she would call him that's the boy since the beginning. I know I and when he was saying who was saying that, he meant us. Well, not I didn't I'm not the one who said it, but
I am. I'm the one.
but but
I said what
but
I
Lee
said.
started last season, and so other bloggers really got this from Lee because y'all know it starts here, period. And
Yeah,
Lee was
Sassy
one of the
Boys up
first ones.
1000.
She was, and they probably said that too. But it started with Lee, and so he was saying somebody on Instagram Live. I said to myself, "Oh, you know good where you got that from?" Not like did this say he gonna be crying in the car. Oh my God.
Probably. Listen, it ain't my job to make y'all make. Listen, y'all ain't supposed to like me.
Oh my
I,
gosh.
and what Boosie say? I just don't give a. We on the
Look,
internet, so I can't. I ain't gonna cuss. So I don't want you to get no strikes. But
girl.
anyway,
We got 44 people watching straight up from Twitter. I know y'all
hey
like the
X,
I know y'all
hey
like it how we
Insta,
clowning because I know that the people from the cast are also probably watching as well.
hey
And so
y'all.
again,
I'm sorry.
we've been doing this for a long time. Lee, give them a quick recap about what we do in the cast in the chat from Love Marriage DC, all the Love and Marriage franchise. Go ahead, mama. I want you to give a quick recap of what because she gonna give it to you raw. So just be ready. Real quick from the dome.
So anytime that y'all hear coleslaw, that came from that came from this panel.
Mhm.
Coleslaw came from this side chick. That side chick reference that came from this panel. Shout out to Erica. She'll be back. Hopefully she get her Android to work in. I don't know what's going on
Mhm.
with that, but that's neither here nor there. Um Love and Marriage DC. I went viral in 24 hours because I said that they
Yep.
had three TVs in their establishment, and I also said, see, it's not what I said, it's actually how I said it because I said we should probably blame the establishment because they only had three TVs and they were understaffed. However, the party planner at that time was probably also overwhelmed, but that's neither here nor there. They didn't like the fact that I said that they had three TVs and nowhere for nobody to
Don't
sit because
forget
I didn't.
Carmen.
all the tables was reserved, and y'all promoted this event as a free event, but then you had to reserve, you did forgot to tell them that they had to reserve the seating and have a food
She's
and
not
beverage
telling y'all
minimum.
what it is. She's not telling y'all what it is. Mind you, the show premiered. My girl was at the party of the two main stars of the show, aka, and y'all know I love y'all, Jamie and Arena Tyler. She was at the party 24 hours. This was the first, no, not really the first. No, she did it twice, 2 seasons in a row. She comes on my panel the Sunday morning. The party is Saturday night. She goes
Oh,
viral before I get up for work that night. 'Cause I work overnight Sunday night.
so that
Before
was
I get
Sunday
up, she
night.
went viral before 24 hours because of
So,
that. Go ahead.
well, first and foremost, and it was no shade to the
He
Tylers
wasn't.
or the Petite. So shout out to Arena, because actually today is her 50th birthday. So her birthday is
Let's
today.
go.
Happy
Happy
birthday, Arena
birthday.
Tyler. She is in Cabo celebrating her best life. I will see you on Wednesday. And the Petites, they were also there. Joy and Clifton,
I
anyways.
love
But
all of them. Mhm.
there's that. But my thing was, as an event planner who has been doing this for a substantially long time, whether and I have done events for the Atlanta Falcons all the way to a European wedding, and it was 3 days, Greek wedding. I have done enough to understand that they should have had enough seating
And
for people.
plan my honoring. When I got honored for Rachel Love, she was ahead of that as well, and I was very happy with my results. Go ahead, continue.
As and it was just a wrong selection of establishment. However, when I did say what I said, and I'm staying 10 toes down on what I said, it just wasn't enough TVs and it just wasn't enough seating. Now, me and my friends, we had somewhere to sit, but there was a lot of people standing up, and the people that was sitting down couldn't see the three TVs that was there. Now, they didn't like my delivery, and Carmen also really made it worse, was calling that girl April her assistant, and then come to find out it may or may not have been allegedly her assistant, and it may or may not have been her assistant. I'm not too sure, but
So tell me
there's that.
but the trend that she's talking about with Carmen is once again on this channel, my panels have gone, especially Love and Marriage franchise, because the fact that Love and Marriage DC started, I was one of the first bloggers who actually interview the whole cast before the show even aired, and then been cool with them ever since. So mind you, that season I did the same thing. But Carmen, who was also guest starring on there, came on here, had drunk some champagne pain and was having a good time on here, spilling lots of tea, and was trending. The whole season we were trending. Our panel was every Sunday. It was crazy. So
And we cannot forget Ready to Love, where we had 300-400 people in the chat on a Saturday afternoon. People was missing brunch, people was late to brunch because they wanted to hear what we had to say. So
period.
we kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's it, and that's the post.
So if that's a good, that's actually a good. That was a good, Lee. Little recap of, because really it's a
Our
small recap,
credentials.
really small
And it's
because,
actually Kamisha's credentials because I'm just a guest.
well, it's everybody because the people who've been involved with it also, because Lee was kind of like when I met Dina. This is real quick. Dina was the one who became my mentorship program, and I met Dina that way because she had her own tea, spilling tea about 14 years alive, which is put a ring on it, which is no longer coming back. And I which is no longer coming back. Let me say it again, because I do really feel like that me and Dina shut that shit down because it was a lie. And I know that I felt like we are better terms now. But at that time, that production company couldn't stand myself and Dina because we shut the lies down. We were trending for like 6 months straight. And so
Yep,
with
No
that
more
being
put a
was.
ring on it.
oh yeah, it's done. So
Oh,
uh with that being said, I met Lee, just through her. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's a mini version of her. And I always said that. I called it Tattoo Junior voice, said that. And we built our own relationship. But she kind of became a part of the Love and Marriage panels because our mama was doing panel with confessions. So Lee was doing the panel with me, and Lee kind of made her own fans, her own people who love her on YouTube and everything else, and just the DC, because I call it Queen DC. all that stuff was going on, she was trending almost every Love Marriage DC. She's always trending every season. Let's be clear. Something always happened with Lee and the Tylers or something. And not no shade. And something always happened and she's trending every season. So I don't know what's gonna happen this season. Okay. But this season, and then even Erica was trending for me for Love Marriage Huntsville because the comments she made. So my panel do be doing that thing. So Lee's correct.
Oh, you know what I was going to say too about that? Since you bring up Love and Marriage Huntsville, to me, what's interesting is the same way everyone, like everybody hates Kristina, is the same way everybody kind of hates Melody. So it's interesting that, you know, so it can be a double-edged sword. Like it could be an opportunity for her to develop her own fan base, just like Melody did. So
I think that's a good call out, Erica, because I'm telling you, just for me watching this season, and we only at what episode going into episode 4, this season was literally geared to be I hate Kristina. It started out at the end of last season, and again, show me receipts where I'm wrong, because I'm gonna show you receipts where I'm right. Because last season, the way it ended, it was a hate train against Kristina, and y'all can say what y'all want to say about me, but be careful what you say out loud. And I find out I'm gonna drag everybody, because at the end of the day, you have your relationship issue. That's fine, but it's for me where the lines are blurred when you bring somebody in. Like, oh, I'm gonna team up and have my own little team club against her, and I'm gonna have the whole public turn against her, because we all know that the narrative is what the public thinks, what the public says. Well, I'm that girl to make sure that the public knows what the real tea is. The real tea is you brought her on to change the narrative, to join with you, to also hate on Kristina. Unless something happens where y'all bond together mid episode season, I'm sorry, episode 10, whatever. But for right now, that's what it's giving. Okay, Erica, your thoughts. Go ahead. Since you back late.
I mean, yeah, no, Christina's not perfect or whatever, but
Sure.
but I don't see where they're sort of trying to legitimately work things out. Like at first, that's what Anthony was sort of asserting, I guess, when he was going to dinner with her. But then after that, I guess he forgot and started saying other things. And then, so that was, you know, so that was sort of inauthentic. So that's the thing. It's kind of like, okay, you all don't seem to be trying to legitimately work things out. It just seems more like we're building alliances or whatever. And it's like, okay,
come on, big brother, in a challenge and
competition
shows.
Like,
let's go. Let's go.
Exactly. What are we doing? But what I was gonna say because I wasn't able to see the comments earlier, it's like on my computer. But for This Is Too Much, I love the scene between.
Did you add your channel? Did you add your channel?
Well, now that I'm here, I can. Let's see.
Please, I can tell you change it on your computer because you want you to add it so you can have it on your channel.
Yeah. So,
go ahead.
Hold on. I loved the scene with Kristina and his mom. Okay. And Brandon's mom, because I thought I really liked the fact that she didn't throw her son under the bus, but she was still able to kind of be realistic and impartial and give like kind of reasonable advice.
But okay, so Erica, while you add your channel, me and Lee spoke about that briefly, and I said that yes, I 100% get what you're saying, but at the same time, I said that's her son. He's staying with her. What is she going to say that's going to be too impartial? Because the fact of the matter is, her son is staying with her, and that's her child. And she don't think she didn't like is the things that are, not flattering for her and her ex, which is the things he said about his dad. And what I said was the reflection is it should be spoken about because literally, as Lee pointed out, the only thing he did was mow the yard. And Brandon is literally mimicking what his dad did to his mom, but doing it with Kristina. So what are your thoughts on that?
What I liked, and that's what I'm saying, what I liked about it instead of saying you need to leave him, which you cannot say because it's your son and it's your child and he would hate you forever, she told her, you need to do what's right for you. It was easier for me because I had a career, but the children are older. You should follow your dreams, is basically what she told her, which I thought was a reasonable middle line. You know what I'm saying? Because, yeah, you can't be like, girl, he's trifling. I left my husband. You should leave yours. You know what I mean? Like, unless there's some, no one would really, I'm saying that would kind of be, I think, almost ruining your relationship with your son. So that's why I thought the advice that she gave her was reasonable.
Okay.
Given her position. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
No. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm here echo. But yes, that does make sense. I just wanted to be that part to be spoken about because I felt like that was kind of crazy. Let's go ahead and get into we did spoke a little bit, but the knocker ball, which is the big coup de grace of the episode, with Kristina having her say with Latoya, and I know we all have thoughts about it. My thing is this: I did like Anthony getting them all together with the knocker ball, for them to hash out things. I also feel like too that if you're having issue with somebody, right, and you do some kind of sport that's physical, it does get out it gets tension out. It does, it really does. And so I kind of like how it was set up, right? But then when they finally do have the conversation between the two of them, is when I think it gets kind of murky. As far as for me, I like dealing with facts, and I hate that we don't know everything. But then, so for that reason, I have to go by what I see and what I hear. Shout out to my girl Abby and Really Big TV, who is all the time. Go by what I see and hear, and that I base my commentary on that. So I'm gonna start with you, Eric, and I'm gonna check and see if Lee's still here to give her, because there was a lot when they were being said when they were going back and forth. So, Erica, what are your thoughts about that? Go ahead.
Well, my biggest thing on it is with Latoya, in the words of Monique, if you can't say who said it, leave it on the playground. Like, I'm so tired of her being like, people. No, you need to name people. And if it was Kimberly, then it was Kimberly. Like, everybody stand on what we say. Or
It was
don't.
Brenda, Letitia. Okay, all right, bye.
Right, exactly. It's like, exactly. It's like, okay, if you're not going to say, then don't say nothing. Then it's what you think or whatever. But don't, that whole the streets are talking, like, come on now. The streets would be you. So either say who said it or keep it to yourself, because that whole making it, and kind of like what you brought up earlier, Kamisha, either I'm a nobody and don't nobody know me, or how are the streets now talking about me? Like,
Right.
what? Make it make sense. It doesn't even logically go along with, oh, don't nobody know who I am. You didn't know that she didn't
Come
like
on now.
me, all this other stuff. But now the whole streets are talking about me. Like,
Exactly. Period.
so it's giving very much, producers told you to say this because you're not making sense right now. So yeah, so I feel like Latoya, I mean, I hate it when people, because I have had people do me like that. Oh, everybody says whatever. And I'm always like,
Who
wow,
is everybody?
I'm so popular that everybody is talking about me.
Right. Exactly.
Or
I
can
hate
they
that.
follow? Can they
Everybody
follow
said
me on
it.
Instagram? Like what?
Everybody
Are they,
said it. Who the fuck is everybody?
thank you. Are they subscribed? Like, tell me, make it make sense. Like, tell me something important.
Don't tell me to scroll YouTube, please. Thank you.
Exactly. Like, comment, and subscribe. If tell them that. If they have questions. If they have questions.
Oh
So
my god.
so that's the part where I'm like, oh, they're, so that's, to me, it's like, okay. And or just be real, especially now that you brought the person on the show, and the person, like Kristina says, is using the exact same terminology, the exact same words you're saying. Like,
No,
no.
let's get into I don't remember. Girl, first of all, everything you said is recorded. Even if it's edited, propped, and prettied up, everything you said is recorded, okay, that we saw of. We know what you said. How do you say the things you don't remember is what we literally saw last season when y'all got into it at the roller rink? Like, girl, what are you talking about? Come on, Erica and Lee, please help me. I'm trying to go in. I'm so confused by the fugaziness of this all. Lee?
Girl, yes. I mean, that's the truth. It's like,
I don't
okay,
know.
you
Go
have
ahead,
Yeah,
Erica.
Lee.
hold on one second.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Erica.
I'm like, do we need to send you clips in your DMs? Like, what is you talking about?
That shit
Just
was
ask,
crazy.
or they say, producers roll the tape. That's what, if you don't
Can we have a
recall.
rewind?
Thank,
Replay, please.
thank you, producers. Can you replay? Can you replay for Latoya's
Come
memory?
on now
Because
to be the replay. I don't understand. Like, I'm so confused when she said, I don't remember that. I was like, wait, she said that and recorded that? You don't remember what you said, but it's recorded? I would at least say, I don't remember something that has not been aired. Like, oh, I don't remember saying that. But not that was, girl, Erica, please help me. Because
girl,
Latoya's at the like,
Latoya don't know who said it. She don't know what she said. Like, how are we even having a conversation right now? You know nothing. So
look, that's what she gonna say. You're gonna say, wait a minute, last week, I don't remember that conversation. I did not have sexual relations with that.
right. She's going to
Oh my
remember
God.
Not
nothing.
Bill Clinton.
Yes, she is not going to. I do not
Oh my
recall.
God.
She's gonna pull a Woody on us. I don't recall. I don't
Oh
recall.
my God. I did not inhale. I did not.
I don't recall. I don't recall. That's how she's gonna be.
Oh, Jesus help.
So yeah, I don't see how you can, like, you can't really have no real discussion if you're not gonna name the people. You don't remember what was said. Like, girl, you know. So
It's giving scripted. It's giving fugazi, and I don't know what's going on. Because to me, it's like, okay, because to me, legit, Latoya could have some things to say where it's like, look, I don't like mess. Y'all know I don't like mess. But I would not say I don't remember when you know good and well you said some things last season is recorded. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that's confusing for me.
but also to me, I feel like some things happen like with Latoya and Anthony. I think it reminds me of Giselle on Potomac, where you just make a much of a mess so you don't have to like show what's going on in your life. Because I'm like, you know what I mean? We don't still know what your husband does. You're supporting like what is happening. And I think it's easier to
You
kind
ain't
of
got no job.
thank you keep up random mess than to let us into your, to let us into your life, but you still want to collect a reality check. So
Damn.
that's the part that's kind of like, because I don't, like I don't blame people. Like I wouldn't want to necessarily let Carlos, if I was married, I don't think I would want Carlos in my marriage either. But when you look at that couple from Huntsville, was it Tiffany and Lewis or whatever? Some people choose their marriage over reality TV.
100%. Come
You
on.
have to
Come on.
respect that. And
They
other
did.
people choose to entertain us with like poorly written scripts. But I think you need to make a decision. So if you don't want us in your business, then you should not be on the show.
Look, you have to look. Let's be honest. We got Kiki who unfortunately lost her life.
Kiki, do you love me?
And who unfortunately lost her life, and it's so much wrapped around it. And I touched on it when I discussed it, and I even went trending for a while for talking about it. But when I did, I just basically went about what I saw and heard. I didn't want to get deep into what people are saying. Why was she sitting in the car, in her driveway? Combo, why she was right there at the house. It wasn't like a storm or something. Like the young lady that died in the storm last year. The people are questioning why. We don't know the why, but she's on a reality show and she's on this particular reality show. You know, I think that being on a reality show, I know is probably appealing to a lot of people. We cover it. Some people who like Lee and any of us who've been involved with cast members, um, can kind of can see behind the curtain, and sometimes it's not always pretty. I can say that. Lee can say that. Not sure where Erica have seen, but I'm just saying for the people I can speak about. But even without her, even Erica didn't know. She knows that it's not pretty behind that curtain. So it's just sometimes I think that it'd be a lot, and people should kind of. That's why sometimes I do give some grace. Now that's also why I'm saying this. Sometimes I do give grace to cast members because I do think they do go through a lot. But anyway,
No, I agree with that, and I get it, but then it's like, I mean, it's just like anything in entertainment. It's like if you want the fame, you're gonna have to learn to
I
live with
agree.
what comes with it.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I think some of these people, like, absolutely, these reality shows, you know, they show your struggle and your pain, but they also show your business. You know what I'm saying? And you look at people like Stormy going whatever on TikTok and stuff. So it's like it can be a great business opportunity for you, but you do have to, I think, whatever issues you have, like, I think it exposes the good and the bad. So if you have some sort of things going on, like, there's so many shows, like so many Real Housewives, where you can tell the cracks in a you can tell who's
Hmm.
going to be done by the end of the season or the next season or whatever. Like, you can always see the cracks, and those cracks become more exposed, even as you try to pretend, even as you try to, keep up mess so won't nobody see. Like, it's still going to be revealed. And I do think it's challenging, but people can learn to grow. Like, I think that's why, as a fan, you watch it, because you can relate to you want to see the person win the same way we all want to win in our own lives, and we all have
Hmm.
struggles. So it's definitely relatable, but I think it's hard to give an hour of your life and then you can tell that the people are kind of basically being fake and sort of not really showcasing it, because then it's like, okay,
Because
then
we cover these shows, and we also blend in with cast. Like my last birthday was spent with cast members from Ready to Love Dallas, and my family included. But we do have these bonds where we get to know cast outside of these. I know for a fact that Lee has relationships with cast members that are on reality TV, and it's not nothing to like. It's not like a flex or anything. I mean, it is one, but for a lot of us, it's not. We don't use it as that. It's just a part of our life. It's just something that happened. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying. So to me, it's like I know that they go through a lot, and that's where my sympathy and my grace does actually come in because I have seen behind the scenes, like I said, and I know that they go through a lot. I know that you deal with different shows as well, Erica, and I know that you also see behind the scenes, but also too because of the fact that you guys know me, I tell you guys stuff I go through, especially if you're in my program or just you cool with me, period. And I tell you guys these things because I do want you guys to know, the stuff I'm going through, how I've elevated how I do things. I might tell you guys on the side because I want you to know that um it's rough out there, whether you're a blogger or you are a cast member. I feel like it's rough, period. And that story still hasn't been told about the casting behind the scenes, being on these things. It just be rough. So anyway, I hate to go off track, but speaking of being off track, Lee, there was something we were gonna talk about at the end of the show. What was it, Lee?
That is a great. Oh, Love and Marriage DC. When they commented on Love and Marriage Huntsville booking the Jamie saying that the towers need to be booked to turn out Love and Marriage Huntsville. That was what we was talking about. That's what you told me to come back to.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Um, it was something else about that I want to talk about. Fuck. Well, can you kind of give me what was the last thing you said? The DC or whatever, Lee. What was the last thing you said about that? Memory tree by memory.
Oh, okay. I also said that it's a little different when people watch Love and Marriage, whatever, that to dedicate it to their area. Like, yeah, we gonna watch Love and Marriage DC because that's where I live and that's the demographic. you bringing somebody else from another Love and Marriage franchise where they probably don't watch it because they're not from that area. They're not gonna watch it. I mean, if Love and Marriage Huntsville is on my TV, yeah, I'll let it be on my
Okay, yeah,
TV.
there we go. So Love Marriage Huntsville to me, and when I first came into the Love Marriage Huntsville behind the scenes, people look at Love Marriage Huntsville as the elite version of the Love Marriage franchise. Whoever feelings who this might hurt, they are the top because they started it, right? So anything after that, and even Love Marriage Huntsville have said, I've seen them on Instagram Live where people didn't catch it, where they said, I don't watch that show. I don't know those people. They said that by DC. And I mean, Love Marriage Huntsville said, I don't know any people on DC. And so, with to Lee's point, people in Huntsville gonna watch it, but because they're the first ones that came out, they have fans outside of Huntsville. They built that fan base and had it for years. DC and all of them have that too. It's just not on the same scale as Huntsville. So it would be smart for Jamie to try to get somebody from Huntsville to come on there because that's what people do pull. If you notice, if there's a guest star from any other Love and Marriage franchise, they pull from Huntsville because they're the kings, the queens of that, of the whole franchise, the whole Carlos King, whatever. That's his baby. So just pay attention to those moves that are being made. That's what I wanted to say. I don't know. I want to add more into it. Plus, also too, when it comes to DC, y'all don't understand that the eyes and ears that I have as far as Lee, she is the one that's in and out. Regardless if she's at a certain party or not, she still will know what's happening. So when I call it Queen of DC, that's for a reason. So when it comes to Love Marriage DC, you should be here on this panel because Lee is like that anchor. She's like the one, you have the team. She's that one that could be like, oh, last night I was out. I passed by here. I was there last night. She's gonna know. And if I tell her something's going on this weekend, she's gonna be in the know. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Y'all need to understand. Lee, talk your shit. Because she does that. She's very humble. And I call her the Queen DC for a reason. And plus, Love Me DC is coming up next. So also as well. So
Not talk my shit. Yeah, I mean, she said what she said.
period.
Yes, I do be outside, but I do be outside with purpose. Partying with Lorenz Tate. Well, I mean, yeah, that's it. I don't. I just be outside, and then sometimes I be meeting these people by accident, and that's how that goes. I don't. She already said enough, so there's that.
See, she's not gonna talk her shit, but just like I said, the Ready to Love situation where I got awarded by the cast that I love of Dallas, where they, Chaz and everybody, LaRon, everybody did their big one. Lee was behind the scenes. Who knows me, making sure I was taken care of. At the end of the day, I was taken care of. Yes, shout out to Chaz, 100% gentleman king, all those things. But I know the queen behind the scenes, my little mama, was Lee. And I'm saying this live because everything I do and say, it always goes somewhere. And I repeat this more often. I'm gonna still keep repeating it. I know I was comfortable and was good because I know she made sure of it behind the scenes. So I'm just telling you, me connected. I'm connected to the right one when it comes to her, and she don't talk her shit enough. So I do that for her. Okay, I'm done. Um, Erica, final thoughts about this episode. What we got coming up for next week? Because we didn't talk about the finger part before we go. I want to get your thought about that because everybody has their bubble as far as how they feel about people interfering in their bubble. And I know that when she pointed her finger when she was talking to Latoya, Dr. Latoya, and Brandon said, telling her to pull back. And when Dr. Toya said, she had a finger where Anthony is concerned, I want to know your thoughts about that. I want to know Lee's thoughts as well because that's explosive. And then we're gonna end it with that. Go ahead, Erica.
I think it's, yeah, I think they just got too heated. It was a little bit too much. I agree. You have to kind of respect people's space. It started off with such promise.
It did.
When they were in the bubbles, and then it just went wrong quick. So, So yeah,
Because
I don't know.
that's your man. That's your man. What I'm trying to put you in your mind frame as Erica, you're sitting there, your man, your dude or whatever is talking, and the lady, you're not interfering, but you see her put her hand close to his face, not close to his face, but in the direction. Your thoughts on that? Just looking at all sides.
I mean, I feel like you shouldn't be putting your fingers in people's face. Period. Period. I mean, I think that whole, I think that's doing too much.
Right. Shout out to 6 people in Twitter watching us right now. Straight up 60 people. Shout out to all you guys. Lee, your thoughts. And mind you, Lee don't play when it comes to her man. So go ahead, Lee.
Because I'm making Sunday dinner for him right now. But anyways, until next week. This was a little bit dramatic for me in regards to y'all should have left that stuff. Y'all should have left all the issues that they had on the little bubble, the bubble fields, whatever it's called, whatever that bubble little thing's called. That's where they should have left everything. But until next week, I hope that Anthony, I hope that I don't have to call him Sassy Boy 1000 every week. Every week. Um, and there's that. I don't.
Well, no, so Lee, I
Hmm.
know how you are with your man. So a woman's talking to your man, and I know Lee. She, if a woman has a problem with her man, she'll be there to be sitting there, but she won't interfere. But her finger in his face direction is what I want you to speak on right now.
So my thing is this. Do not put your hand in my face because I'll push you down a flight of stairs. And my mama is in the chat, so
Mm-mm.
she understands that I will push somebody down behind being disrespectful.
Nope.
And if we can call my best friend. Well, hell, my mama in the chat. The one thing that I don't tolerate is disrespect. I don't care who you are, family member, not family member, a dog, a cat, a bird. I don't do disrespect at all. So you putting your finger in my face, that's a sign of disrespect. And now I got to push you down.
Mm.
Don't
Okay.
you don't
For
be in my don't be in my personal space unless we're giving each other a hug and I have welcomed you into my personal space. Do not be disrespectful because just as nice, and I'm a Libra, so just as nice as I am is as mean as I can get.
not your mama saying she's not a fighter, but she put down the stairs. So for me, I'm gonna say this.
My mama's in the chat, so
My my
because one
my
thing my
my
mama she
man,
might tell you a joke, but she ain't gonna never tell you a
but she
lie.
got bail money. I'm not worried about that. I'll call it a heartbeat. For my man, if I'm sitting there letting you, I said letting, I did. I'm have y'all have your discussion about what beef y'all have, whatever it might be. As soon as you put your hand in his face, I'm going to say, get your hand out my man's face. I don't care what's going on.
Immediately.
Period.
Immediately.
I'm going to push your hand back to let you know the energy and smoke that I'm giving you is not going to be no kind of miscommunication or I'm confused. No, no, no. I'm pushing your hand back to let you know he's no longer involved, mama. It's now
And
me and you, baby.
And
So
and
I
one thing is
ask you
for
not to
sure, and
no,
two things is for certain. My face is gonna say it before my mouth
what
does.
look, like I say, I'm not even going to be talking a whole lot. So my thing
Right.
is this: you can have your conversation, say your thing, because to me, if my man has a problem with a woman, I'm just going to be there. I'm not going to jump in because if my man is wrong, I'm going to check him anyway. But for we. It should be that kind of enlightened relationship anyway. But if you talk to a woman and have a beef, I'm still going to be there for a lot of reasons. They can go awry. You want to be a witness. Women can lie. All kind of things. You want to be there. So if they have discussion, cool, you can go back and forth. I'm not tripping. But as soon as he's just sitting there not doing anything, but you're starting to be physical with him, no, ma'am. That's not gonna work like that. Where you gonna be like, he did this, whatever, whatever. But you provoke him. No, I'm stopping everything immediately. You got a problem? You want to get physical? I'm right here. Got you. What's good? No problem. Because he's not gonna be involved with that. And so that's the part that I do understand where she's gonna be upset about when she kind of had her hand because Kristina was like, she was getting upset, and I don't have the problem with Kristina getting upset, but just don't give another person a reason to say something like, oh, she got physical, she did it. Don't give them. You don't ever give your ops anything. Just one
because
thing
he
I've learned. Go ahead,
Because
Erica.
here's the thing. Remember from Love and Marriage DC, since we were talking about them,
Yeah.
I think you do, once you get into the place where you're arguing with a man who's not your husband, then you do, because if he had done the same thing as Cliff, you know what I'm saying? Then this would be a different discussion. You know what I'm saying? So that's the thing. It's like you can't get up in somebody's face, some man's face, and then you don't like his reaction. Now it's gonna be a thing. So that's the point where it's like, okay, if you're having an argument with someone who's not your husband, then you do have to carry yourself a certain way. You can't be getting all, you know, all heated and hot because you just don't know. And I think it's reasonable for their wife or their girlfriend or whatever to step in, because at that point it's going too far, you know?
No, agreed. Oh, you said that very beautifully. I love that because it is that's the part what I said about
Yes,
defending.
Erica.
But to see this, what I'm saying about okay. So Lee, you had cut out earlier. We couldn't respond because remember how I was asking you about defending your friend. Where
Hmm.
is too far to where, like I told you, and I know you. Like I said, I know for a fact if I'm with Lee in DC, which I will be in one point in time, I'm gonna be good. No worries. I can tell my dude, my mom, everybody else. I'm with Lee. I'm with. I'm not worried about nothing. But what I'm saying is, things happen in life you have no control over. If Lee is there with her friend, she may not have control of her friend might say some shit about something I said they didn't like or whatever the fuck it was. And again, I'm not gonna immediately click on her friend because I'm like, okay, Lee, get your friend because you know me, whatever. But I know how Lee is. She's diplomatic. She's very good under pressure, and she's also good as a host. She will handle it. I wouldn't have to worry about it. But I'm saying how much defending is expected from your friend if, like, for instance, because Kim didn't like the Android situation, or if any friend like me and Erica was saying where Lee left, I want to hear Lee's thoughts about that. What do you do in a situation, and how much defending do you do for your friend in that type of situation as well?
So I wasn't able to comment, but what I did hear Erica say was, okay, well, if you know, there's only a certain amount, like you do not like, um, what did Erica say? You don't like my my shoes or my
I
my
said,
my my
mhm.
phone or whatever. Okay, yeah. Oh shit, hold on, y'all.
Damn it, of course, Erica, because I want her to comment on that. It's something it says, but because my whole thing with the defense situation is important that we touch on that because I feel like the defense level, as far as your friendship, is actually important to this episode. How much defending should you do for your friend? I feel like the higher that she would defend it in front, because I feel like some people, like, say for instance, you have an ex-girlfriend. If you go off in front of the girl that used to be back in the day with you, she gonna feel happy about that. Like, she checked you in front of, just like when you are a baby boy, and when you see the new but Taraj has Jody's
Okay, I'm
ex-baby,
back.
she comes to the house and she showed the tattoo of Jody on her chest. It's like, oh, I got one up on you. It's always that one up for defense. Okay, go ahead, Lee.
Okay. If I guess I don't even know how to be able to justify being able to deem what is disrespectful, because I can only go on my level of disrespect. But if
Mhm.
you say to me while we in the club, hey, we this person said X, Y, and Z, I'm gonna check that shit right then and there. I don't care how many shots we had or whatever, because as I said earlier, you should they need to show you the same respect as they show me.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna wait no month. I ain't gonna wait no 3 months, and they
Right.
it ain't gonna get back to me as a third party. That's my whole situation.
Mm, love that. So, how do you feel about the third party? How does that sound to you to hear
And
that?
actually, who was the third party? Was the third party even actually at the party?
Mm. Well, she good. That just like me telling, like, oh, I told confession what happened at your birthday party, and then all of a sudden you and confession like, girl, we had a good time. And confession, what happened with you and Kamisha? What do you mean what happened? Well, Kamisha told me that. That's the same way. So how you know? Wait, hold up. She told you that, but she didn't tell me that. So tell me, how would you feel about that?
So why
Like,
would you go to somebody that wasn't there?
right?
And
Hmm.
and because my mama is in the chat, so we had like a whole little family discussion, or whatever behind the situation that some of the people that was on this family discussion wasn't even there for. Yes, we
Hmm.
heard it from a person that was already there, but I'm like, all right, we're gonna let it roll. We had a whole little family FaceTime behind something that had 50% of the people that was on the group call didn't they weren't there.
Wow, interesting. See, so you feel the same way that I do. That in reality, Lee, if I never told you what was going on at the time that was happening, right? But that you heard from a third party 7 years later, you're gonna tell me, honestly, that's crazy work. You never told me about this at the time 7 years ago. I heard it from somebody else. So no, I never brought it to you because
Well,
you never came to
listen,
me. Go ahead.
as a Libra, I have held a grudge against people for less.
Mhm.
So uh, my toxic trait is I will block somebody and not speak to them ever again behind the smallest things. I'm probably not the person to be answering this question right now.
But I'm just saying, if it was never brought, no, I understand that part. But if it was never brought to you,
Oh my
but you heard
god.
from somebody else, how would you feel if they came to you about it
My,
7 years
my,
later? Okay,
if they came to me about 7 years later, I would have said this falls off of my credit report.
oh shit. Wait a minute. I was Erica, look, Erica was that was good. But I'm no, I'm saying, Lee, reality.
No,
You had
for
a
real.
birthday party. You had a birthday party and something popped off. You didn't find out about it till a month later through somebody else, but the person that actually happened to never told you about it. So you heard from that said person 7 years later without the smoke. That's what I'm saying to you.
This is no longer on my credit report. So why are we talking about it?
Erica,
Now
you I mean,
here's the
go
point
ahead.
I would make really, and that I didn't quite, because actually I had something happen. I've had a few crazy birthdays, but I will say this: I think the level of defense that you put on
Oh, fuck this.
is based on the level of the wrong, right? So
Mhm.
yeah, so to me it's like the phone thing is insulting, you know. If I found out, whether I found out now or a month from now or whoever from now, I would say something to my friends, because it's like, yeah, like if I bring somebody around, I want, kind of like Lee said, I want everyone to be treated with respect. So the example that I would give is I had a birthday and someone who was sort of a newer friend came to my birthday dinner, and basically she ordered shrimp or whatever. We were at a seafood spot. And at the end of the day, when it came time to pay, she didn't put in her portion. My friends were nice. They didn't tell me until like maybe we went to a club later, and they were like, "You better get that B to buy you a drink because we paid for your dinner and
Not
her
the
dinner
B.
because she didn't put in enough money." And so she bought me a drink or whatever, but I was supposed to go
Mhm.
on a trip with her. That changes how I view the
Mm,
person. And I and I
right.
and I said, let me bring it to you because, and maybe it was like a few weeks later, because I was just like, if this person would basically come to your birthday dinner and have your friends pay for your meal, and we all grown women with, jobs,
Right.
whatever, and then still gonna be kind of smiling in your face, like I felt a waste. So,
Mm,
and then when I was like, I want to give you a chance to kind of say something, because to me it's like you stole a meal from my friends. Like, how am
right.
I gonna be cool with you? And I don't really even remember what she said, or maybe she was like, oh, that, maybe she just started capping off instead of just being like, my bad, I'm wrong. Like, to me, the person who made the Android comment, maybe she didn't mean it. Maybe she's just trying to be funny. Like, we don't even really know. Like, it's blown so far out of proportion. So it's like, um, but I felt a ways, and I really, it kind of ended our friendship. And it wasn't, and my friends were kind of cool about it. They're like, ain't nobody so broke we can't cover her meal. But
Right.
who does that? You know what I'm saying? The same way, who is going to try to shame somebody about what phone they got? Like, you do have to look at that person like, okay. And so maybe we don't even know to this day, like, even though maybe Kristina didn't go to blows or whatever, maybe she had a discussion with that person behind the scenes. Like, you know what, when I bring people around or when you're around my other friends, like, don't make crazy comments. Like, you know
Right,
what I'm
right.
saying? So she may have said something to her. So I think,
Mm-hmm.
so my point really is, in the same way as we talk about with Latoya and Anthony, how you defend somebody or how fiercely you defend them is also reflective of how bad the wrong is. Like, someone,
Yes.
saying your phone is basic, like, it is insulting, but it's not, it's not the same as like
Right.
walking out on a check,
No,
or it's not the
period.
same as putting your hand in my man's face. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's like, it's levels to it, basically. So I think for Kimberly to hold it this long, and it, like, did the girl say some other stuff to her? Was more said than just this thing? Because it does seem, it seems like whatever she would have wanted from Kristina, like, how far was she going to have to fight for Android? You know what I'm saying? Like, how much is she supposed to do?
No, I agree.
What's
I
the
agree.
expectation? So I think part of it is like, okay, you do expect her to say something to her friend, and maybe she did, but she didn't front her friend out there at the party. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, maybe when she heard about it, she said something to the girl. We don't
Mm-hmm.
really know enough about the situation. And again, it just seems like an overproduced storyline, to be 100 on it. But to me, it's such a slight thing that I can see someone not really like defending or addressing it, but I can see how you would feel a ways, but it just still seemed like minor, honestly. So
It does. The whole thing seems minor. The whole thing seems extremely petty. Period. Waiting to see what's the tea. Why is there so much dramatic? Why is it like a soap opera? To the whole generations, all of it. I mean, no shade. It just seems like
that
every
being said, though, if you're not promoting
every,
an Android phone of some sort where you would
every
be
scene.
able to monetize it, I don't see what we're doing right now.
It's like every scene is like a scene from, oh my god, cover my pearls. So I don't know what's going on, but um, people do things for content, and I get it. There's different sides as far as production. There's different sides as far as um all the things. I get it. I really do. I'm being honest when I say that and transparent. But there's something where it starts to look scripted, and if it's a scripted show, cool. Let's call it
Right,
that.
exactly.
But if it's a reality show, let's keep it reality. Whether it be born or snooze face, as they said in the chat, or it's popping. It's not gonna be popping every time. Because to me, Latoya does not like Kristina. I'm sorry. I feel like she's saving everything for the reunion to just say, I just don't like you. I see Anthony is trying, but she doesn't like her, and it's forced. And not that even wrong with that. If you don't like somebody, maybe she had her feel for last season, whatever the reason. That's my opinion on that.
But if we keep
I,
it 100, I don't think Anthony likes Brandon that much either, to be honest.
I agree with that too. So, it could turn to a whole Love Mary DC franchise because we all know the Love Mary DC friendship ended 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and they just be on there collecting a check. So is it going that direction? I'm just look. Why am I lying? Am I lying
No lies have been told.
at all? Lee can jump in and give her 2 cents about that because she's on the streets, as she stated, as far as DC. But I know that for myself. When they came on my live and told me on my channel, we ain't been friends in 2 years. So it's kind of given that for Love and Mary Detroit. And Latoya is like, I'm just here because I'm on the contract. And it's kind of messed up for Latoya. Shout out to the 70 people watching from Twitter. It's kind of messed up for Latoya because I'm gonna keep it real. If I don't like you, but I gotta film with you for a year, It's gonna give every time. Okay, yeah, I don't care. Whatever.
And
I
that's
don't want.
exactly what we're getting. And
I'm
it's
just.
kind of
I'm
like, okay, girl.
literally. Am I? Come on, Erica. Am I lying? What's every
No, that's
time?
exactly what we're giving. And I'm like, I know this is free marketing for your wine, but you need to give us a little bit more.
Lee,
Because no.
is she there?
Lily.
He's crazy. Not Lily. Well, I don't know where she went at, but is that giving that for you? That whenever time you see Latoya, it's kind of like she just doesn't care.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like, okay, you don't really care, which okay, you know what I mean? But it's like that's the part that's kind of disturbing. So that's why it does seem like the bringing of this new couple in just comes off as a little, we're bringing them to just add to the Kristina and Brandon drama, because it's like, okay,
Yes.
you don't care, but you're also, you're not showing us what's going on in your life either. So it's like, why are we watching you? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Say it
So
again.
that's the thing. It's like, okay, well, you can kind of not care, but only to a point. Otherwise,
Only yeah. No, no. Only
otherwise, otherwise you need to be replaced.
right.
Because we want people on the show who care, girl. Like, we need to tell you, the fans want people who care, not
My
people
whole
who don't.
but my whole thing with that, to be honest, just being transparent, is that I feel like that um I don't know. I just feel like that it's just a lot going on when it comes to the all of them with Kim. I feel like that with Kim, it's just a lot. Why isn't it more regular where it's like I'm coming in, I'm new to this situation, I want to get to know da da da. You coming in like I want to do a pow 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 because again, I'm gonna say this because that that's good TV, and we all have talked about this. I don't know how it would be on a reality TV show, so I'm not gonna sit here and presume or do anything like that. But I do want to know that I want you to come in just straight up as authentic as possible. You understand what I'm saying? And
Right.
I know there's gonna be circumstances I cannot control. I know that, and I get it. But sometimes it's like to me for this season, for what I've seen, it was a lot. It was more like I want to be the star. I'm doing that. I understand that so and so is here, but I am the star. Da da da. That's what it gave for me. That's what it gave for me. And I
Yeah.
just
I mean,
it
I
didn't need to
agree. And
go there.
I think when we watch, like when you talk about, even though I think they could have done a better job on Love and Marriage Huntsville, one
Hmm.
thing I can say is about the newer people who weren't really friends with nobody. They at least had enough going on in their own lives. Like, this is why I'm here, because I'm trying to get a divorce from my ex. I'm engaged to somebody else. Like, da da
Hmm.
da da da.
Hmm.
And so with Kimberly and her husband, like, I'm not really sure what's going on. I guess now they need to do more date nights. Like, okay, but we need to see more of you. Like, if your whole claim to fame for being on the show is because you beef with Kristina, then like, that doesn't really seem like that's a thing. Like, that doesn't really seem like that should work, to be
Right.
honest.
No, I
So,
agree.
so that's the thing. It's like, okay, but if you really want to be on the cast, then you need to show us more, or because and I think this is true of a lot of different reality TV shows. Like, as time goes on, the people are getting to the point where, like, they want the check, but they don't care about the friendships anymore.
Right.
So it's
Right.
kind of like, well,
Right.
if you don't care about the relationships, then yeah, you do need to be on Big Brother or The Challenge or something. You don't need to be on a show that's based on people being friends.
Come on now, because the thing about it is, when you're on the challenge, when you're on the brother, when you're on these reality TV shows, being ruthless, being all these things, or somewhat is okay, because the narrative is you're trying to get a big pot of money. So it's kind of, you get an excuse. Well, that's a lot of money I'm trying to get. And so that's a lot of money. So I'm going to be fighting people, doing all the things to get there. And people are not going to be like, okay, but I get it. When it's a reality TV show, you're just trying to get to a scene or, something, whatever. They're like, wait, why? They
And the thing,
question that.
yeah, and the thing with reality TV shows like The Real Housewives or The Sister Wives or whatever shows that you're watching is that, at the end of the day, what drives a story, whether real or scripted, is yes, you want to see conflict. But the only way to really have a real conflict with somebody is to care about that person. So if you don't care about nothing, then you don't even need to be on the show. You know what I'm saying? Because we want to see conflict, but we also want to see people resolve the conflict. Like I don't want to watch how many seasons am I going to watch of people just dogging Kristina every episode?
Yes.
Like that's not going
Yes.
to work. So if you all aren't at least by the reunion trying to work it
And that's
out,
what the thing about it. We're going into episode 4, and that's the narrative. Now there's going to be a part in this episode where it's going to be, we're going to have the big blowout with Kim and Kristina. But I got a feeling, to be honest, because I see the scene. Because at first I was saying, is there going to be a big blowout with Kim and Latoya and Kobe? And I said no, because as you can see, that go between friend who does the catering, the food, or whatever, but they're all friends. I was wondering was going to be a conflict of interest, but as I see, and she is talking to Latoya and she's talking to Kobe, she goes off of Kobe like, are you Latoya's bodyguard? She checks the dog shit out of her. And I feel like that's going to be for the audience to see. This is somebody else that's in their circle that is saying the same things that Kristina is saying. It's not just the girls that don't like Kristina giving their 2 cents. What are your thoughts?
um, I agree, but I guess but I feel like they could have maybe they edited it that way. So I'm gonna wait till I see the episode because I felt like the way the editors clipped, for example, the discussion with Kristina and Brandon's mom. When I saw the previews, it almost sounded like she was telling her to leave him, and then when you saw the scene, she was just saying like, "Oh, get a job."
I know, but you
So
could tell she goes off and she don't like what she said because she's talking to Latoya and she's feeling like that Kobe is jumping in and responding like, oh, that's not how she feels, da, 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 when it comes to Kristina, because she is friends with Kristina, but I could tell she's been trying to be neutral because she's friends with Kristina, but at the same time she's trying to say, look, we're friends, but I'm cool with everybody. And I think that with that being said, I think that she checks Kobe because she jumps in to respond for Dr. Latoya and she finds that weird. That's why she asked those questions.
right now, I agree. Like to me, that's how it is looking. But I want to see more of the scene because I feel like they clip it sort of weird sometimes. But yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting because I think, like you said, it's interesting to see someone new kind of coming in and I guess trying to make a name for herself or whatever. Because it's like, okay, so now you're snapping off at Colby, like what? Chill out. But I do hope that there's more. I just hope that they bring more because it's like
Yeah,
every
me
week
too. Hmm.
it always being about Kristina and then but you're still gonna kind of invite
I
her to
agree.
everything. Like it's
Right.
just, after a while it's gonna, not really make sense.
No, I
So
agree. Mhm.
hopefully they do try to get to some resolution with it. But I do really feel like Latoya cannot continue to ride on this. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. Because
First
if
on
you
my
Yeah,
don't
best.
care,
I'm
then
I'm
like,
getting tired of that. What's say, Lee?
I said I'm back. I was trying to
oh,
make. I almost burned down my
Lord Jesus.
apartment.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard that part. I'm getting tired of hearing that. So Lee, what are your thoughts about Latoya giving I don't care, I don't like her .com.
That's that's when you don't want to be held accountable for stuff. That's what you say.
Okay, so guys, we've been on for over an hour, almost 2 hours actually. Damn.
God
So final
dang.
final thoughts. Oh wow, my food outside. So final thoughts. Erica, start with you and then Lee. We'll go answer my door real quick. Erica.
my final thoughts are I want to see Kimberly and Martrell or whatever his name is, um, show more of what's actually going on with their lives. Like, I don't want their whole reason for being on the show is so that they can be on Anthony and Latoya's team. Like, you need to legitimately, show us who you are, what you're about, and whatever. For Latoya, Anthony, I don't know. He got 85 personalities. I'm not sure which one is the real one, but it wouldn't hurt for us to, like, one, know what you do, and then two, for you not to change kind of your perspective and your view based on who you're talking to. So if you are trying to help Kristina and Brandon get their marriage back on track, then don't in the next the next scene be like, but she ain't nobody. Like, make that make sense. Or if you don't care, or if you
Hmm.
think she ain't nobody, then ain't no reason for you to have dinner with her, really. And Latoya, we're very proud of the wines and opulence and all of the good things on top of your regular job and all the things you're doing. So on the business front, great. But if you want the free advertising that comes with being on the show, then you need to also care about the people who are on the show. So, this, oh, I'm above everybody, I don't care about nobody. Well, then, then you good. You don't need this show. But if you are trying to
Please stop
engage,
promoting Anthony's podcast that people can't remember the name of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
exactly. But if you want the free promotion, then you need to also work on it, which means like giving a damn about the people on the show. That's it for me. Go ahead, Lee.
Lee, final
Um.
thoughts.
Yeah. Anthony, we listen. We just need to know what you do. Now, if you want some free promotion for this bottle of champagne, you are more than welcome to send it to my PO box. I can drop it in the comments. I'll definitely give a great review if it's great. Um, because by this time the champagne should be out by now, I think. But as for Kim and Christine, I understand that's probably gonna be the storyline for the rest of the season. Um, I hope that Brandon and Christina, um, they probably need a little bit of marriage counseling, not not Deacon Russell giving friendly advice. They need to go to marriage counseling, and they also probably need to go to couples therapy because there's underlying issues that have happened in the past, especially with Brandon, that is having him to act the way that he is acting. And that's all I got.
Okay, that was actually really good, both of y'all. My final thoughts are I don't really have any final thoughts besides the link for the next flight will be up. My interviews for the new show for Anonymous is on Peacock USA. We'll drop tomorrow. Working for more interviews for new seasons coming up. I'll let y'all guys know when it drops right before it. I don't have anything else. It's been a long panel today, but it really was a good panel. A lot of discussions. The comments are gonna probably be crazy this time, like it was last weekend. With that being said, I will talk to y'all next time. Bye. One thing I want you guys to know and that nothing that will never change about this. I am the queen of reality TV. Don't get it twisted and don't doubt it. It is what it is. Period.